Resolution of the El Paso County Board of County Commissioners, joined by the elected officials of El Paso County, opposing the State of Colorado Joint Budget Committee staff recommendation to suspend the senior citizens and disabled veterans real property tax homestead exemption provided under Section 39-3-203 of the Colorado Revised Statutes. Mr. Assessor, thank you for bringing this to us.
Absolutely. Commissioners, good morning. Steve Schleicher, your El Paso County Assessor, and I am joined here by Rich Mariotti, who is our County Surveyor. If I could just say a few words. As your assessor, the Senior Homestead and Disabled Veterans Property Tax Exemption programs has and will continue to be one of my highest priorities, and I'm absolutely humbled with the support from all of our elected El Paso County officials. You, our commissioners, our sheriff, district attorney, coroner, treasurer, clerk and recorder, and surveyor, thank you for your support on this. Since 2014, the Senior Homestead Property Tax Exemption Program has grown exponentially in El Paso County. Currently, there are nearly 27,000 seniors that are enrolled in this program, and my office serves as many seniors enrolled in this exemption program than some of our neighboring counties have total populations, for example, Elbert County and Teller County. The county assessor in each of our 64 counties is merely the custodian of this program, and it is the state that oversees the funding and the auditing, and I am extremely concerned as your El Paso County assessor with future funding for these programs. Unfortunately, I feel many of our state elected officials have forgotten our history. Why did our legislature decide to take this referendum to the Colorado voters in 2000? Could have been because Colorado was experiencing a very hot real estate market. Values of residential properties were going up by double digits. Our seniors then could not keep up with the cost of living and growing tax burden. Any of this sound familiar today from some of the briefings I've given you about the residential market and non-residential market here in El Paso County? Sadly, 20 years ago, many of our seniors could not pay their increasing property taxes, and unfortunately, many of them had to make the hard decision to sell their home. Some went into foreclosure or went through the process of a local treasurer's tax sale. It was during this time our state legislature recognized a problem and felt that our seniors needed a helping hand to allow them to age in place, which is why they proposed the Senior Homestead Property Tax Exemption Program. The proponents at the time were the Colorado Senior Lobby, AARP of Colorado, and thousands of Colorado citizens who felt we needed to assist our seniors, who passed Referendum A with 54.7% support. I am sure these proponents would agree that we should not be balancing the state budget on the backs of our seniors, especially during a time where our senior population is surging in Colorado. According to our state demography office, we have seen a 39.9% increase in our 65 to 74 population and a 14.05% increase in our 75 to 84 age population from 2010 to 2015. I am sure those numbers are drastically going to be going up from 2015 through 2020 when we get the census numbers. As your elected county assessor, I'm thrilled to see many of my fellow elected officials joining me. And I'm asking many of our community leaders and senior organizations join us in supporting our nearly 27,000 senior citizens and ask for the State Budget Committee to vote no on any legislation to not fund the Senior Homestead Property Tax Exemption Program or the Disabled Veteran Tax Exemption Program. So many of our elderly population are forgotten about or disregarded. Folks, one day we will be where they are. Is this how we will want to be treated? Our elderly deserve to be honored and respected, and we need to ensure they receive every benefit that they have qualified for. Thank you very much.
And before we get further, and I want to get into comment here, I just want to make sure that everybody understands how much money that is we're talking about for seniors. So it's effectively for I think it's the first $250,000 in value of their house. It's cut in half.
It's basically the 50% of the value. So it would be $100,000. If the value of the home is $200,000, Commissioner, then they're only taxed on $100,000.
But that's not means tested at all. If your home's worth $1 million, and your taxes are $10,000, it'd just be cut in half.
Well, in fact, the taxes would be the same. So if it's $1 million home, they only get $100,000 removed off that value.
Okay. Okay, it's kept it.
It's
Okay,
capped.
it is. All right. That's a change from when I was there. It
Yep.
was, you just got, half of your tax bill. If you'd lived in your house for 10 years, half of your tax burden was removed
Yeah.
from your house. And the idea was, for somebody that lived in their house for 30 or 40 years, I'll give you a perfect example. I knew somebody that lived in Thornton that in 1969 paid $9,000 for their house. Well, the value of that house today is like $300,000.
Yep.
And so the tax burden is more than, the house payment ever was if that senior citizen were to have to, pay the full value of the taxes. And so that's why the senior homestead tax exemption's in place. It's there to protect those seniors who have lived in their houses for a long time and are on fixed incomes. And I know that this is a popular thing that the legislature goes after. Unfortunately, we've seen this happen time and time again where, they like to create a bunch of new programs and then balance the budget, as you said, on the backs of senior citizens. And it's not only unfortunate, it's wrong. And that shouldn't be happening. And so I'm with you, and I really appreciate you bringing this to us, and it's going to be an honor for me to support this. Is there, do we have any of the other countywide elected officials on the line that would like to speak to this, Blake? No? All right, so I'll bring it to is there anybody in the audience? I'll open this up to public comment, I guess. Anybody in the audience that wants to speak to this? Sure, come on down.
Deborah Stout-Menninger, community advocate, citizen scientist. Of the people, by the people, for the people. That includes our taxes, and that includes the government's requirement that they do the best they can, besides getting all the freebies themselves, like governors and some senators do. The things that are available to help the veterans, to help the seniors, those are not entitlements, like the free benefits that they don't, that senators and governors and stuff, the free medical that they don't contribute to. They need to give that money back for the benefit of the people. And when they're sitting on some of it to benefit a community just because they can, sadly, like our Governor Polis, that is not right. That's a Caesar mentality. It's all mine and I can do what I want to with it. That is not right. People really should have a voice and make the governor hear us, as well as the legal entities that can make the governor hear us, because them holding the community hostage at every level that they can, small businesses, the elderly, the disabled veterans, they're not there to just, hey, if they don't make it, tough luck. They worked all their lives, they gave their lives, they gave their health, and they deserve to have that, those exemptions that helps them survive for the rest of their lives. They're not acceptable collateral damage in the state budget. Thank you.
Somebody left that there. Mr. Pace, 12058 Real Seeker Road, Peyton, Colorado. Been here 14 years. I'm a vet. You all know that. I'm actually one of the people that gets that exemption, but if I have to give it up, I'll give it up. If that means somebody somewhere else will benefit from the extra money I got to pay in, I'm cool with that. I'm not cool with the fact that you're attacking seniors who don't have any other way to get out of their own way. Fixed income is fixed income, and a lot of people who have an income still have it. But now we have thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in this state right now who don't have an income. Who's looking out for them? Nobody. So now what do? Sell our houses, go into a foreclosure nightmare, watch property values plummet, and then what happens to the tax base? Goes right down the toilet. I actually predicted it because that's what's going to happen. So people that have been in their houses that don't have this right, I do have a question after the fact about who we talked to about them getting rid of this, is that some people may not be in my position to be able to take that hit. Okay? I got people in my community in an election I just ran in stating, we can't even afford to let the bills go up $4.50 a month. And I got some bad cop telling me, oh, we can afford it. Well, yeah, you can afford it because you make 90 grand a year. You got 5 people in your house working, so you can take the offset. The people in my community, and that was a great statistic, by the way, sir, that you brought up. We're not getting younger. I wish I was. It would be great, wouldn't it? A little more hair on the head, a little taller, right? But the problem is we're not. So at some point, when we're done working, and that's going to come a point at some time in our life, 65, 70, 80, I don't plan on ever stop working, okay? That's just the way things work like that. Not everybody's set up to take this hit. So I appreciate you guys supporting this, but I don't like our governor so much, and I don't like the legislature so much, and I don't like a lot of elected officials who continue to collect their paychecks, notwithstanding you guys right now, because you're still doing your job, but a lot of them are sitting up there with their thumb up their ass. Have a good one.
All right. Is there anybody else in the audience that'd like to speak on this, this resolution? All right, seeing none. Any comment? Well, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, Commissioners, I will say a big difference this year from 2000 when the legislature put forth the senior homestead exemption onto the ballot is many of our seniors had a part-time job previous to about 2 months ago. And I get calls daily where they are absolutely worried about having to make their tax payment. And they're also extremely worried in regards to the senior homestead exemption benefit going away. And I tell you, it is not an entitlement. I have heard that word used time and time again up at the Golden Dome. It's not. It's a benefit. These folks have to earn this benefit. There's requirements they have to meet to get this. And same with the disabled veteran. But I will share with you is I'm a big guy, and I will fight till there's no fight left. So my goal is that the state prioritizes our seniors and our disabled vets, and the funding continues for these folks. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Comments by my colleagues? Commissioner Williams.
Thank you for bringing this forward. I definitely support it. Every single legislative session, we are having to fight for our seniors. I don't know what part of this was a constitutional amendment does our legislature not understand. They cannot cut their budget despite record revenues. They continually are trying to balance on the backs of our senior population, the ones who are going to struggle the most because they may not be coming out of this recession with a job, and they're trying to make sure that our seniors have to pay more as opposed to the ones who might be younger and able to get a job somewhere. And it just feels like I don't know how much longer, every single year we're fighting this battle, and you think that they would figure out that perhaps offending the seniors is not such a great idea. So thank you for bringing it forward.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate you bringing this forward. I am also resolute in supporting this. The word affront is used in the resolution, and I am offended that the JBC would consider removing the funding for this. The voters spoke when these things were passed into law. The voters spoke, and there's only one way to remove this, and that's through legislative action or a vote of the people. This cannot be done unilaterally, in my opinion. And I'll also make one last point. At the absolute worst, I appreciate the state has a serious and difficult budget challenge going forward. But this is about the worst time we could possibly do this to our seniors and our veterans. The worst time, exactly for the point that you made, Mr. Schleicher, at the time when many of these people maybe had part-time jobs and those jobs are gone. So they lost that revenue, and this becomes a second violation of that revenue that is going to give them even more difficulty. This is actually when programs like this need to be supported by the state so that people can make it through this crisis. So removing it is really, really a problem. So I'll be voting in favor of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, we have one of our elected officials from the Fountain Town Council, I understand, wants to comment on this issue. Can we call, do you have her number? She said she sent an email. Sharon Thompson. All right, I'm going to do this. I'll call her. I got it.
Hello, Commissioner Waller.
Hello, would you like to comment on this issue, Trustee Thompson?
Councilmember Thompson, City of Fountain, yes, thank you. Let me mute you here just a second. I'm hearing an echo. Okay. Thank you so much for bringing this forward and trying to support the seniors in our community. You're right. This does seem to come up quite often that they're trying to get rid of this. I think we actually need to expand this. I would love to see something run that our seniors can transport this with them one time when they move, if they need to move to a home with no stairs or for whatever reason they need to move. It's vital that our seniors be able to stay in their community if that's their desire, to stay around their family, their friends, their church, and all the relationships they've built over the years. So thank you. I hope you add my name of support for your resolution for the JBC not to consider this, and thank you for taking my call.
Thanks, and we'll do that. Thank you very much. All right, Commissioner, Commissioner Brimmer, do you have any comments?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you, Mr. Assessor, for bringing this forward. Our citizens and our seniors in particular are very fortunate to have you fighting for them. And as you said, you won't go down without a big fight and a long one. And I'm grateful that you are up for it. I think it's also significant that this particular resolution is actually on behalf of all of the elected officials in El Paso County. So I think that's significantly making a statement to our state government that we're all on the same page here, that this is something that we're all willing to come together and fight for and fight against the elimination of this benefit for our seniors. So thank you for coordinating that, and thank you for just having a demeanor that it is something that is absolutely just, we all want to jump on board and help you fight there. But thanks for being the face of that.
Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I wanted to thank our assessor for all for the fight to make sure that we're taking care of our seniors. We have so many that are on fixed incomes, our veterans, disabled. This is a community where we have a large population like that, and so we want to make sure that we're taking care of them. And I congratulate you on your efforts to fight against this and to retain this benefit that I do think that they have earned and fought for. So I appreciate it, and I will be supporting this, of course.
Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, it's kind of bittersweet, right? Because it's bittersweet for this reason. I'm obviously incredibly happy to support this resolution, but I'm disappointed that we have to do it. It's disappointing that the legislature is even considering removing this benefit for people who have earned it. And I know we've been working on legislation over the last few years to allow the transfer of that benefit, as Councilmember Thompson said. We would like to be able to transfer that benefit, and actually I know it's been peeled back a little bit as well. As you said, it's only on that valuation of the first $100,000 of the house. That's disappointing. In the olden days, it was whatever the value of your house was, your tax burden was cut in half, or whatever your tax burden was, it was cut in half. There was no valuation done or no limit or cap to the amount of money that qualified for it, and it's kind of disappointing to see that rolled back for our seniors over time. And I guess it's been good that we've at least added disabled veterans to that mix, but it is tough and disappointing to see this state budget get balanced on the backs of our senior citizens. So obviously I'm incredibly supportive of this measure as well, to add a little bit to try to show our support and protection for senior citizens. So with that, did I ask for a motion? Can I have a motion to support item number 10, the resolution of the Board of County Commissioners?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution opposing the State of Colorado Joint Budget Committee staff recommendation to suspend the senior citizens and disabled veterans real property tax homestead exemption.
I'll second.
All right, so that was moved by Commissioner Vanderwerf, seconded by Commissioner Brimmer. And with that, I will call the roll. Commissioner Brimmer.
Aye.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Vice Chair.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes unanimously. Go
Awesome.
fight the fight for us.
Absolutely, I'll do that. Thank you, commissioners.